Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, the podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm one of your hosts, Brian, joined with your other host,
Karen.
And what is today's episode all about, Karen?
Mudvayne at the rave.
Yeah, this was May 15th. They had P.O.D. opening for them, then Hyro The Hero, and A Killer's Confession. 4 bands on May 15th, just before MKE Metal Fest.
Yep.
So we went up for this because we were going up for MKE Metal Fest and figured let's just extend our trip one night to see Mudvayne.
Yeah. And
all these other great bands. So cool. This started day 1 of 5, I think, of just concerts every day.
Yeah.
So by the end of the weekend, we were definitely tired, and we'll talk about that when we do the MKE Metal Fest. But this is, as you said, all about Mudvayne.
Yep.
You also pointed out that this was the rave. Tickets for this I have listed as $35. $18.13 in fees, and then $3.97 in tax. A little bit different with this particular one because we bought this as part of a BOGO deal. Buy one, get one. We ended up getting the VIP area, not like where you had a seat in the ballroom.
The general admission VIP.
Yeah, where you can just stand around it.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know that until P.O.D.
Yeah, I think that's when I...
Yeah, so we just decided to stay on the floor.
I completely forgot about that, honestly. Yeah. Also, for paying for this, we had gift cards from the rave because it was, I think, around Christmas time last year in 2023. They were offering, if you bought $100 worth of gift cards, you got $25 or $50 free or something like that. Yeah. So we did that a couple times because we're like, fuck it, we're going to go to the rave a lot to see shows. Let's just do that because you get free gift cards on top of it. We'll give them to us so we can keep buying shows for us. So in the end, with the gift cards we had, roughly $100 or so, we only paid out of pocket $14.19 per ticket, or $7.10 a ticket. So,
because we already spent the $100 in December of last year.
Sure, yeah. But that's kind of cool. That's the lowest ticket I think we've had in outside of free.
Yeah.
In terms of like the BOGO deal.
Yeah.
BOGO deals are pretty fucking sweet, honestly. But we could have even got this cheaper because a few days before we got free tickets in the mail again from the rave.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Those are a chance because I think it's depending on capacity. So
I think so. What they've sold and fuck it, we just want people in here to buy concessions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't always get it. And sometimes we get tickets all the time and we're like, fuck, we can't make this. Like, we can't drive up in the middle of a Tuesday for this, but because we would happen to be there.
Yeah.
We could have, but whatever. I'm happy to pay the price for admission, honestly, for the show. But yeah, let's just, I guess, jump into it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about the rave much because
we do it all the time.
Yeah.
We have A Killer's Confession. What did we get for a set list there?
Sure. They started with Tongue, Sun, Filth, Numb, The Boys, Martyr, and they ended with Greed.
So this is the set list from Setlist FM on May 18th. The one at the rave doesn't have anything, and I honestly don't know A Killer's Confession's catalog all that well to say, like, yes, those were played or no, they weren't. But fuck it, we threw them on our playlist on this one, except for Sun and Filth, because they are unreleased, according to this, and I couldn't find them on there either, so.
No, yeah, they have a new album that they're working on, so.
Yeah. This is our second time seeing A Killer's Confession. The first time was November 2022?
Sure, I don't know. It was at Beat Kitchen with Bloodywood.
Yeah,
I don't remember what year or when.
It was late in the year because it was chilly out, and I think it was 2022.
It was chilly?
It was cooler. I remember
being really fucking hot.
In the ball or in the venue it was, but outside it was a little bit chilly.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna quickly double check.
I mean, you could be 100% correct. I just remember it being really, really hot.
Oh, October.
October 3rd.
October 3rd, 2022 in Beat Kitchen.
So that time of year, I just felt like it was really hot, but it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, definitely in the room it was because, I mean, it was packed in there. Everybody's moving around for that show. I can't remember who all the openers were, if it was just Killer's Confession and nobody else, or was it?
Yeah, just a Killer's Confession and then Bloodywood. Yep.
Okay. When they came out this time around, much different vibe and look to the band than we saw originally.
Yeah, when we saw in 2022, only Waylon had a painted face. They
Yep.
didn't wear masks and stuff, and now they have masks and they all had jumpsuits. Waylon had a red jumpsuit, and the rest of the band members had white jumpsuits. So.
And yeah, as you said, they all wore masks. Where previously it was just Waylon.
Oh,
and
not all of them. One of the drummers did not
Right,
have a
right,
mask
right.
on. Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say this at the beginning. It has been a week since we saw the show.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we've seen many bands since this show. So hopefully we get everything correct and we don't miss out on anything.
Yeah,
but.
so we'll see how long this episode is. It might just be a quick burn through. But I just want to talk about this a little bit because, it was just a different feel. They had 2 drummers this time. They only had the one previously. And they're changing the kits they were on what drums they would go to and whatnot. Previously, it was a small venue, so they felt like a very young band, but they've been around since like 2016, at least starting out.
Yeah, I remember seeing that like when we saw them in 2022. But before they came out, I was like, God damn it, this is gonna be like a garage band. Like I don't know, I'm not gonna like this. And then as soon as they started playing, I was like, oh,
really fucking cool.
They're really fucking good. So yeah.
Yeah, but like it was a small venue, and like I said, it had this sort of like small band feel to it. Because even like outside of Beat Kitchen, they had like their trailer they were loading everything into, like right there on the side of the road. And their stage sort of setup then was like 2 flat screen TVs with the imagery on it that would like rotate and do stuff. I can't remember what it all looked like, but it's sort of like Matrixy, sort of just trippy sort of imagery that was sort of rotating and doing a bunch of shit.
But now the show is them performing and not background or anything.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool though as a young band. Like, oh shit, this is sort of cheap and easy just to throw something up there. You have to pay for the art and like the TVs, but you can get cheap ass TVs to do that.
And you're saying young touring band, like meaning like they haven't done very many tours, not young as in
right.
age.
The band as a whole is young, and it just sort of had that vibe in 2022. But like I said, that they were 6 years old at that point in time. So and Waylon's been around forever fucking touring. So like they know what the fuck they're doing. But it's just I was taken aback a little bit by like, oh shit, this is a vastly different band than we saw last time. But still same fucking good energy and great performance from my perspective.
Yeah.
I really did like their set, and I want to see them again, and hopefully we can here shortly. Anything else for Killer's Confession for you?
No, I enjoyed seeing them again. I forgot that they were on this bill, so.
Oh, for Mudvayne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really look. I honestly forgot all the bands that were on there, just that we were going to see Mudvayne.
Gotcha.
So.
After Killer's Confession, we got Hyro the Hero. Don't have a set list for this. I even checked the like one after this or whatnot. The thing with this tour is it's very fucking short. Like what, 3 shows or something?
I think there was 3 shows, yeah, because like Mudvayne was doing some of the festivals, I think.
Okay.
And then I mean they just added 3 dates along with it, so.
Yeah, and we saw Mudvayne once, well, sort of, at Upheaval. We were at the top of the hill and we sort of looked down.
I didn't even look down. I stayed on the rail.
Was that when we were waiting for Avatar?
Yep.
Okay. So I went back and we could hear it a little bit, but yeah, like I'm not really counting that as seeing them as at a show. So I was super excited for this show. But anywho, not many tours to pull from. And usually when we look up a set list, we go to like the one before, the one after, and just there's not that many. And Hyro the Hero, it's I think they're a pretty young band.
Yeah, I don't know.
I also don't know how long they've been around. Yeah,
I don't know anything about them, and honestly, I don't remember the performance except for I think it was like rap focused. Am I remembering that right?
According to Google, he is an American rapper. There was definitely like the new metal rap heavy sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed their sound. I thought the energy was really good on stage as well. The major negative for me, I guess, was it did feel like there was dead time between songs. There was a little bit of banter and whatnot, but there were moments where it was just sort of silent, not a whole lot going on, I felt like.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Again, it's been almost a week now, so whatever. Yeah. The other thing that was really fun is he came out into the crowd because he wanted to be in the pit.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Which was like right in front of us. it was just funny because he gets out there in the pit, stands on the corner, he's like, all right, when I do the drop, let's get this thing going. But as soon as he gets to the pit starts moving again. And he's like, hold on, wait up. And then eventually they get going and do the pit. But that was just fucking funny. I thought that was cool. Like, oh shit, you're here. Let's go. Let's pit.
Yeah. I do. The only thing I remember is the rap focused vocals, I guess, if you want to say that. Looking at this, though, it does show that the genres are metal, dance, electronic, and rock. But definitely vocals are rap focused.
Yeah. And
which is fine. I mean,
yeah.
We're genreizing again, but you don't have to genreize. It's just how the vocals came across.
And you weren't necessarily a big fan of the music itself. So, no. I mean, you don't have to like everything. I enjoyed it a bit. But that's one of the areas I think we'll diverge there a bit. So, whatever. I do want to see them again. I think it'd be fun. So hopefully we get to see them around again. But not a whole lot more to say, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't have any. We don't have a set list to say anything about. So we don't know his songs. So,
but a good performance. All in all, really cool. Next, though, we get P.O.D. And this set list is from the Milwaukee show.
Oh.
Why don't you read it off?
So they started with Drop, Boom, Murdered Love, Satellite, I Won't Bow Down, Youth of the Nation, Southtown, Afraid to Die, and they ended with Alive.
I think you were most excited for P.O.D. on this night.
No, I was excited for Mudvayne.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I forgot that P.O.D. was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe I'd never even looked at the openers for this because, like, I think it was, like, the day before. I was like, oh, shit, we're going to see P.O.D., like, tomorrow or 2 days from now sort of thing.
Because I remember showing you the lineup for this when it was sort of announced. We didn't buy tickets right away because we were sort of debating if we were going to extend our Milwaukee Metal Fest trip or not. And then we ended up extending it and saying, like, all right, let's go to this show. But I remember showing you at that time, you're like, ooh, P.O.D., I really want to see P.O.D.
Yeah.
And you've said that before. They were here with, I think, Papa Roach a few years ago or a year ago or so.
Oh, maybe.
And that was a show we couldn't make because of whatever reason.
Yeah, they were at the Oregon, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yep. As I think a co-headlining show there a bit. I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I remember at that time, too, you're like, oh, I really want to see that. Because you used to listen to it a little bit growing up.
I listened to the first 4 tracks. I don't even know what the album is, but so I had a friend in middle school that burnt me 2 CDs because I wasn't allowed to buy music, and one was Linkin Park and one was P.O.D. And so I listened to the first 4 tracks almost every single day, and Youth of the Nation was one of those tracks. So it's
and that was Satellite was the album that was off.
Oh, okay.
Of. I think I don't know if it was their first, but it was definitely one of their main early ones that they blew up with.
Yeah, so I think that's where that kind of came from, is wanting to see them, to hear that song live, just from memories, I guess, from being younger. I was going to say from being a child, but I was like...
You were a child.
I was a child, technically.
16 or so is.
I was 14. I was in middle school.
Whatever. 16 I would still say is children age.
Maybe.
Even
I felt
early
like an adult
20s,
when I was 16.
People act like children. I mean, I'm 30 and act like a child a lot, so whatever.
Yeah, you do. But yeah, so every time that P.O.D. kind of came up as a band to go see, it was never like, oh my God, I can't believe they're touring. I want to go see them. It was like, oh, P.O.D. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still excited for it. I want to go see this. So it's going to bring back memories and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe.
Not
just for that one song, though.
Overly excited.
Yeah, just for that one song. It wasn't like...
Yeah.
I mean, there's bands that I'm overly excited for.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'd use the word excited. Not saying
Okay.
It's a band that's oh yeah, I want to go see that song.
Maybe anticipated is a better word there.
Maybe, yeah.
You're mostly anticipating this set. I don't know, whatever.
It's one song.
Yes. One song. I thought it was more than that.
I mean, once they started playing, I'm like, oh yeah, this song. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's one of those things, but it was never oh my God, I can't wait. They're coming on stage, sort of thing. So. And
they were really big on the radio back home too. Laser and Rock 108 always played their stuff. And it was a band that would come on and I was like, whatever, I'll listen to it. It wasn't something that I would fuck this, I'm turning it off type thing. Maybe because I didn't get overplayed all that much.
Yeah, maybe.
But they were definitely on the heavier side of what got played on those radio stations.
Yeah.
Which is shocking because Mudvayne also got a lot of airwaves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of airplay there.
Yeah.
Slipknot not so much, which is so fucking weird. They got a little bit, especially with Volume 3.
Yeah.
But P.O.D, Godsmack, Mudvayne, like I said, those always got a bit more.
Right.
Felt like airtime than like Slipknot did or something.
Yeah, yeah. I did find this show a little ironic, I want to say. Maybe is a better word. I was going to say funny, but it's more ironic that you have these 35-plus-year-old people like singing louder than the band for Youth of the Nation.
Yeah.
And it's like, one, we're not Youth of the Nation anymore. And two, nothing's fucking changed in the world since that song came out. So, I don't know. It was just kind of like, we're old people screaming these lyrics.
Yeah. I don't know. It was fun. I liked that bit where when Youth of the Nation started, people were singing very loud.
Yeah.
And for other songs as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The night,
yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
The crowd got into it all night long for all the bands, which was super fucking awesome. It definitely made the night for me with like seeing the crowd and like how pumped they were for it, which is just, again, we talk about this all the time, like the band feeding off the energy of the crowd and blah, 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 and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like it was just awesome to see that energy everywhere. But like I was saying, like P.O.D was never a band I super got into, but when they came on, I'd listen to them a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the same. I mean, granted, it was, like I said, one of 2 CDs that I had to listen to. I think one was in my car. Wait, no. I don't know. Because, like, that one was always in the bathroom, and it was hooked up to a CD player that's, like, and then I plugged in, like, a computer speaker. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But, so that was my Get Ready in the Morning CD. And then the other one, like, that's why I'm, like, second guessing my age now, because I know I had Linkin Park in my car. But.
Yeah, I mean,
it would have
been hybrid theory, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't driving when I was 14.
No,
so
and that came out.
Was I 15?
2021. I think I was like 12 or something when that came out. So.
Well, no, because I got it. I know I got it when I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
And then, but then I'm wondering, like, 'cause I got my school permit, so maybe I was listening to it in my car. I don't know. It's a long story.
Whatever. You were listening to it growing up a lot.
Yes.
At least the first 3 or 4 tracks or
the
whatever.
The first 4 tracks. That's about all that I could get through before I had to go off to school.
And then the next day, you just start over at the beginning and see how far you get, which is the same for 4 tracks.
Sorry, I was making a joke of the lyrics.
Oh, I
go off to school, take my test.
Yeah, all right, cool. I don't know their music all that well. When that comes on, I can be like, I can sing along when it comes on, but like if you just throw them out of nowhere, like I'm not gonna fucking pick that up.
You're like, no, I don't get those.
Yeah, no.
But one thing that I know, I mean, P.O.D has rap focused lyrics as well, so like having Hyro The Hero there as well as P.O.D, it kind of makes it kind of fits.
Yeah, no, it fits
together. So
yeah. And we've talked about that too. Like, not every show has to have the same style of music.
Oh no.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anything else for you for P.O.D?
No.
Yeah. Same here. Nothing else I need to say other than just like same thing I already said, where like the energy of the crowd was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And they kept it going for the next band, Mudvayne, the headliner here, which is fucking awesome.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen Mudvayne. I mean, like you said, they were at Upheaval, but we did stay like. Basically, Avatar was on the second stage and the crowd cleared out, so we had a chance of getting rail. So I was like, well, I'm staying here. Like,
yeah, no, I mean,
you could go see them if you want.
I was super excited for Mudvayne because they're like Shadows Fall or Chimera for me, where I got really into them in high school and when I started sort of my metal journey. But I never got a chance to see them live growing up. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they just didn't come through Iowa or if I didn't have the money or I didn't see the announcement or something along those, or I wasn't going to nearly as many shows back then. I wasn't just like, if something came through, let's go check it out type thing. So it could be a combination of all of that, and especially if it was like in Cedar Rapids or something. I'm not driving from where I was up to Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
Unless it's like somebody I absolutely love.
But we never did that when we lived there.
Yeah, no. But in any case, outside of Slipknot, I did it for Slipknot.
But you didn't drive to Cedar Rapids.
No, but
you went to Ames.
Same distance, basically.
Yeah.
Any case, though, then they sort of, I don't think necessarily broke up. I don't know the history all that well. I don't know if they broke up or they just sort of took a hiatus. But
I feel like a lot of bands took a hiatus in like the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Mudvayne was one of them, but I just felt like a lot of them were kind of doing either side things or it's, having their families and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, and speaking of side projects, like Chad, the singer, went off and did Hell Yeah. And that's sort of that time frame as well, where, again, I don't know if I don't think they broke up. I don't know the story, but whatever, he stopped doing the Mudvayne stuff and started doing the Hell Yeah stuff. And then after Vinny's death, it seems like he went back with Mudvayne and started doing shit with them.
Yeah, and I guess what I was meaning is like during that same time, like Corey Taylor started doing Stone Sour, and there was like all these side things happening. Or what I was meaning is like also people did family stuff, like David had a son and like all that, like so there's all this stuff happening. So
yeah, so whatever the backstory is, I don't know. But once I saw they were starting to tour again, especially with Upheaval, I was like, holy shit, I finally get to see this band that meant so much for me, that sort of influenced the direction I went down with music growing up. I finally get to see them live. And we missed the Upheaval because we were up on the hill and didn't want to go up and down that hill and whatnot. Yeah. So, and we wanted to see Avatar just a little bit more than Mudvayne. So getting to see this show.
Tell me Upheaval, all that background of like, this is a band that I really, really badly want to see.
I thought I did, but whatever.
No, you just said, well, I want to see them. I'm like, okay, then go see them because I'm standing here for Avatar.
Gotcha. In any case, we finally did get to see them. As I said, the energy in the crowd was fucking awesome all night long from start to finish. And they played like 14 tracks, so a pretty decent track. What do we have for a set list for them?
Yeah, so they started with Dull Boy, Not Falling, -1, Silenced, Severed, Death Blooms, A New Game, Internal Primates Forever, Under My Skin, World So Cold, Fish Out of Water, Nothing to Gain, Happy, and they ended with Dig.
So I don't think Dig got a whole lot of radio play like we were saying, but World So Cold and Not Falling all definitely got a lot of airtime.
Dig wasn't on the radio?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know.
If it was late at night.
Maybe late at night, or you just played it a lot because I'm like, I remember that song so much.
Yeah, so do I. But when that song first came out, they all, like the music video, they all had like the face paint on and whatnot. And then the very next time I saw them for like the next album, they had like no face paint on at all. And it's like, what the fuck? I thought this was sort of your thing. Like Slipknot wears masks, you do this. But they're like, no, it was just for that one song or that one time. We were not going to do this every fucking time. So when they came out on stage and most of them had face paint on and shit, I was like, oh shit, they're going back to like the old school feel to this.
What you remember from Dig anyways.
Right. Yeah. Because all their other music videos, it's just sort of normal, no paint, no nothing. Just we're sitting here playing. And even when they toured, we watched a thing on Quillo, I think it was, for Mudvayne.
Oh, right.
Where they were touring back when they were young.
Yeah. We need to watch those again.
Yeah.
We were watching those so much that we started going to shows again over the winter. We'll have to watch those again.
That was a lot. I liked that documentary a lot. Yeah. Whatever one it was. There's like 2 of them on there. I can't remember what one we watched. But again, like I haven't really listened to them in a long time, so I don't know their music super well. I didn't really know it all that well growing up. I had a few CDs that I'd listened to and not sort of actively listening to, but more passively listening to. Outside of the same thing, the first like 4 tracks or so.
Yeah.
So I knew those pretty well.
Yeah.
But I haven't really listened to them that much.
If we had CDs in the car, which I know you had a CD player in your car, it only took about 4 tracks.
Yeah, I had one in like my second vehicle.
Oh,
my car didn't even have a fucking tape deck.
Oh,
so I couldn't even get like one of those
like the
CD
thing.
players.
That's what I used.
Tape deck.
And my first car was like a tape deck thing.
Just fucking had radio and that's it. And it was like, what the fuck? You can see the slot where the tape deck went, but that's like an extra added thing you have to get. I don't know. And it's like the fucking late 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, I was
like,
going to say, that's probably like a 98 car or something.
Right, yeah. Why is this not just standard at this point in time? In any case, no.
Anyways, I was going to say, because you could only listen to like 4 songs between Grinnell and Newton. So.
Yep. But yeah, like I said, like the big thing for me was the crowd. Like the pit was big. The pit was always going. It was such a blast at that show.
Well, like, and the crowd wasn't like packed, so I felt like the pit could get very, very large.
Yeah.
And because sometimes like the crowd is packed in there, and then it's like, okay, so the pit kind of stays small so that the crowd, because the crowd doesn't move out as much. And this night I felt like it moved out so that it could be really large.
So you said it wasn't very packed from your point of view. I felt like this may have been looking at Milwaukee Metal Fest, more people may have been here for this than they were any other headliner.
Oh, possibly. Yeah. I'm just comparing it to other shows.
Yeah.
I wasn't comparing it to the whole weekend. I was just comparing it to...
No, I wasn't saying comparing to the other weekend. I'm just saying I didn't feel like it was... I felt like it was pretty packed in there. That's all I was starting to say.
Okay.
But I do agree with what you're saying, where the pit did get pretty large, and sometimes I think the crowds will let you do that. Like, go ahead, open it up. I don't want to be in here. But as you pointed out, like, we're all fucking old, like in our mid 30s and late 30s and whatnot, right? We're like, this isn't our fucking thing anymore. We don't do this.
We didn't say this during a Killer's Confession, but there was no pit during Killer's Confession. But then it opened up during Hyro The Hero, and at first I was like, why is this opening up now and not Killer's Confession? Because I feel like Killer's Confession is a little bit harder and faster. But
I completely forgot about that, and I wanted to bring that up too, because for Killer's Confession, we were pretty close to the stage. The pit was pretty far back all night long. So it's possible the pit was there in a small fashion.
You think it was behind us?
Just behind us quite a ways.
Yeah. I did hear somebody say, and it might have been during Mudvayne, I'm not sure, but it's like, this pit is like center of the ballroom.
Yes.
And normally it is kind of like up, left, center, kind of. More to the front. Every time we're in the ballroom anyways.
Yeah, agreed. And again, not comparing it to this weekend, but it felt like that's where the pit was all weekend
in the
as
center.
Well.
Yeah.
In like the dead center of...
Even before... So, yes. I'm going to comment on Milwaukee Metal Fest really quick. But before Slaughter, like... so Avatar had streamers come out.
Yep.
So then before Slaughter, everybody was clearing off the floor so that they
didn't slip
and stuff. And it was like... dead center of the ballroom that they were cleaning off, and I'm just like one, awesome, you guys are getting ready, this is gonna be so much fun, sort of thing. But then also I'm like noticing that it's like dead center that they're doing that. But we won't talk about Milwaukee Metal Fest because it's after the show. It
is after the show. That's gonna be the next episode.
It did not happen. Well, no, this will probably be posted after that, but
I was super fucking stoked to see Mudvayne. I want to see them again really, really bad. They put on a great fucking show.
I was really surprised when we left. Like, I think I even said to you when we were walking back to the hotel that I was like, how have we not seen Mudvayne? It was just such a fun show. And it was almost like a couple years ago when we saw Pop Evil, like coming back to like the songs. I mean, like, oh shit, this song. Like, just remembering the songs and stuff. Because as you said, like, it's not something on our normal go-to playlist.
I mean...
it's not on our playlist, like Metal Vice playlist, but it's not on our go-to songs. But
as I said, like, they sort of stopped doing shit for a long period of time. So that's kind of an explanation for why we haven't really seen them. Because I saw Hell Yeah twice. You saw them once.
Once, yeah.
Because you were like out of town or something, so I went to go see him the second time by myself. So they were doing that. Chad was doing that for the longest time. And not doing the Mudvayne stuff. And then once that sort of faded or ended, then I think they picked back up Mudvayne and started pulling that around. But they haven't really... I don't feel like they've really done a whole lot.
Yeah, maybe.
Recently.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was only a 3-stop tour, like this little mini tour on top of the festival circuit they're doing. So hopefully they come back and do like a actual like full-blown tour and whatnot, which would be really fucking awesome to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like I'm super fucking happy we did get to see him finally.
Yeah, me too. Especially at the rave, like because I mean you could see him at a festival or so, and even seeing him if we would have went down and saw him at Upheaval, it would have been at such a different vibe I think than seeing them at the rave.
Yeah, I was thinking about this when we watched them. I would switch the lineup around just a bit, where personally for my taste, it would like opening would be Hyro, then maybe Killer's Confession, if not P.O.D, then Killer's Confession. I get P.O.D's bigger and more people there to see them. I like the Killer's Confession much more than I like P.O.D. But again, as I said, I've never been the biggest P.O.D. fan. It's one of those when it comes on, I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
But even with that sort of, if I can rule the world and tweak the lineup, this is what I would do. It was still a fucking awesome show. And I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I would agree with you on the lineup. I think Killer's Confession could have been right before Mudvayne and kept the energy going and everything.
Yeah. And like you said, you just hearing people in the pit like, oh my God, they're going to play this song. Oh my God, this is awesome. So like so many people, I think, were like me, like, holy fuck, we get to go back to our childhood a little bit here.
Yeah.
And
it was totally going back to the childhood with the age of all of us that were there.
Yeah.
So, which is fun to see too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we've been going to a lot of metalcore, and that's a lot of younger people. So.
It is. So getting back to like our generation, it's fun.
Yeah.
But you can't do that unless you go see live music, and there's plenty out there to go to. So go check out some live music.
Yep. Bye.